Define the words, reach the stars. Define a word by chainreactionlearning.com. There will be no quiz, there will be no test. Just relax and enjoy the video. 3 times through is best. Today's word is sight. The sight means the power of seeing, the ability to see. Birds have better power of seeing than dogs. Birds have better sight than dogs. A sight means the act or fact of seeing, a look. They fell in love in the act of first seeing each other. They fell in love at first sight. A sight means a limit or range of seeing. We looked from the boat and saw that land was in the range of seeing. We looked from the boat and saw that land was in sight. A sight means a thing seen, a view, a glimpse. I caught a glimpse of him as he was leaving. I caught sight of him as he was leaving. A sight means something worth seeing. We must see the things worth seeing in Rome before we go home. We must see the sights of Rome before we go home. This is a picture of the Forum in Rome. A sight means something that looks queer. Queer means strange, odd, peculiar. She had on strange clothes. She had on queer clothes. Her clothes looked queer. Her clothes were a sight. A sight means a device on a gun, surveying instrument, etc., to assist in taking aim or observing. The device to assist in taking aim on his gun was perfectly in line. The sight on his gun was perfectly in line. A sight means an observation taken with a telescope or other instrument, aim with a gun, etc. The observation taken with the telescope showed the star clearly. The sight showed the star clearly. A sight means a way of looking or thinking, a regard. Dolls are precious in a little girl's way of thinking. Dolls are precious in a little girl's sight. To sight means to see. At last the sailor was able to see land. At last the sailor was able to sight land. To sight means to take a sight or observation of. He wanted to take an observation of at least 3 unusual birds. He wanted to sight at least 3 unusual birds. To sight means to aim by means of sights. The man looked through the gun's sight to aim carefully before firing his gun. The man sighted carefully before firing his gun. To sight means to adjust the sight of a gun or instrument. He had to adjust the sight on his gun before he pulled the trigger. He had to sight before he pulled the trigger. Sight, S-I-T-E, different word. A sight means a position or place of anything. This house is built on one of the best places in town. This house is built on one of the best sites in town. We are familiar with web places on the internet. We are familiar with websites on the internet. CITE, C-I-T-E, again, a different word. To cite means to quote a passage, book, or author, especially as an authority. People often quote the Bible or Shakespeare to prove their statements. People often cite the Bible or Shakespeare to prove their statements. To cite means to refer to mention as an example. The lawyer could refer to another case similar to the one being tried. The lawyer could cite another case similar to the one being tried. To cite means to mention for bravery in war. They would mention the soldiers for bravery in war at the ceremony. They would cite the soldiers at the ceremony. To cite means to commend publicly for service to the community. Commend means praise. It is a good idea to praise someone who does a good job. It is a good idea to commend someone who does a good job. They wanted to publicly commend the excellent teachers. They wanted to cite the excellent teachers. To cite means to summon to appear before a law court. The police officer had 3 people to summon to appear before a law court for the following week. The police officer had 3 people to cite for the following week. To cite means to arouse to action, summon. The coach had to summon parents to support their little league team. The coach had to cite parents to support their little league team. That's all for now. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.